Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caleb Nyoiro. I am the site director at Zone 01 Kisumu here in Kenya. I'm so glad to be back in Kenya. I've been away in the US for the past 6 weeks as a 2025 Mandela Washington Fellow. I was sponsored through our local embassy, that is the US Embassy here in Nairobi, and furthermore by the Department of State in the US to undertake a fellowship in leadership in public management at Wayne State University in the city of Detroit, in the state of Michigan, in the United States. It's been an amazing experience. It's been my first time in the United States, and so I have a lot of stuff to say, but then I'll just keep it to what is relevant to today. So maybe I'll say something brief about the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So this is one of the most prestigious fellowships any young African leader can aspire to be part of. The Department of State in the United States sponsors about 600 plus young African leaders to be in the United States for 6 weeks to learn business and entrepreneurship, to learn civic engagement, and to learn public management. Given my role here at Zone 01 Kisumu, I saw it fit to go into the track of public management to see how best to run the organization, how to be a better leader, how to leverage on our networks as a non-profit and as a business. You understand? So I really loved that. What I can say, the US really impressed me in terms of passion. Everybody I met was passionate about their work. And it's something you often don't see in this part of the continent. Everybody loved what they were doing. Everybody was animated in saying whatever they are doing. And I loved it. Be it the person at the door, be it the receptionist, be it the line manager, be it the supervisors, be it the head of the organization, you would see the passion that everyone had for the job that they were doing. The other thing that I really loved is, you see this common joke that in Africa, time is not timing, you understand? But there, everybody was in the meeting right on time. If the meeting was starting at 9 in the morning, by 8:55, everyone was settled. It's something that we've tried to implement here at Zone 01 Kisumu, and I believe we can do better because it shows that you respect people's time and you value their contribution. So it's something that I really, really cherished and loved. Also concerning the work we do in the technology space, where we do a lot of hackathons, we do a lot of pitching events. I was privileged to visit Tech Town in Detroit and also to attend some of the Black Tech Saturday events. And then I realized that pitching in the US is about 60 seconds. And I think that was amazing because here we do them for about 180 seconds. So it's like a third of that time. So it's something I look forward to us doing. I was making jokes with my colleagues and other staff members that maybe we could talk of 90 seconds for a beginning instead of the 180 seconds. And then with time, we can join our US counterparts in doing pitching events for a maximum of 60 seconds. And one thing I loved about these 60 seconds, be it young people, be it older people, they were able to introduce their concepts and talk about them and summarize them within 60 seconds. The last of the stuff I saw that I think I really love is everybody seemed prepared for the meetings we walked into, the presentations we listened to, everybody that we interacted with, the 24 of us from the African continent, from 19 different countries who are in Wayne State University. We met people who are prepared. They knew their stuff and they talked about them. They communicated effectively. I think it's something that I took home. We met Mark Hackle, who is the county head, executive head at Macomb County, and you could see the gentleman knew his craft and he delivered quite well. I also had a chance to be in Lansing, and we met the mayor of Lansing, that is Andy Scholl, and you could see the same thing I've said about Mark. We visited Friends of Rouge, and they're trying to reclaim the watershed within the wider Michigan state, and it's the same thing about leadership. And it's something I pray not only for our community around here, but for the country and the continent as well, that we have people in leadership who are very deliberate about impact. We have people in positions of power who are very deliberate about doing good. It's something that I took away, and I would want to see it happen, not only in my country, but in our continent as well. That we have people who go into positions of influence, not only for their own gain, but for the gain of the common person, the person who should receive the end service. So this has been a very good trip for me. I have enjoyed, I have had a great time in Detroit. I have seen the spirit and the mood of the people. And I believe that in the fullness of time, the other fellas who joined me in this trip, personally, we are going to do great things, not only for our countries, but for the African continent. I would like to express my appreciation to Wayne State University, the Office of International Programs, in which the Leadership in Public Management track was based. Led by Farid, they did an amazing job. Professors such as Brady and Christine Jackson, who we had a very good connection with, I really benefited as an individual, and I believe I have become a better leader. I also had a chance to travel almost 45 minutes from the city of Detroit to West Bloomfield to meet Professor Tim Bates, who is the godfather of tech. I loved our conversations about generative artificial intelligence and how it's being used now in the United States. And I think what the continent needs to do, especially Sub-Saharan Africa, we no longer need to just talk about tech in the future, but because there are people who are currently living in that future. We need to see how can artificial intelligence work for us now, how can it be embedded into our systems. For example, in Macomb County, I can say we saw how artificial intelligence is being used in managing traffic, how to predict the behavior of drivers, how to curb traffic offenses. I really loved that. I also want to share my appreciation with my mentor and coach, that is Elizabeth King, for showing me around the city and introducing me to various important people. I also want to share my thanks with Renee Yancey, who is the outgoing president of the Rotary Club of Detroit. These are very good and great people who, despite the distance in relationships, being that I'm from the African continent and they're from the American continent, they were able to merge this distance, and I felt really at home. So thank you everyone who made my stay in the US very comfortable, and I believe that we are going to record the world with tech talent. Thank you so much.